Now, Wheelchair Basketball Africa recently held the IWBF Africa schedule draw for the men and women's teams that will participate in the 2017 IWBF Africa Championship, which will be held from the 17th to the 26th of November in Durban. And to chat to us about the qualifiers, none other than the national team coach Max McLean and national team player Shane Williams. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for taking the time to be with us on the show today. I know your schedule is very tight because you are preparing for the qualifiers.
No, thanks very much for having us.
Now, the biggest thing before we even get to the qualifiers, I mean, the excitement of even hosting it. I mean, IWBF Africa saying they're also excited of sending it to South Africa. I mean, what does hosting do for the game of wheelchair basketball?
It actually just promotes it to a different level, obviously. And then from there, all the local people can actually come through, and you just make them more aware of actually what basketball is all about, wheelchair basketball. Because what we have noticed is a lot of the disabled people, they're actually sort of hidden. You know, you don't really see them. And we're trying to expose everybody and say, bring your people to us. Let's introduce them to basketball and put them in chairs and see what we can get. That's where our development starts.
Definitely. I mean, if you talk about development, if I could just quote as well, IWBF Africa, Hamid Awon is saying that he's also excited to award, obviously, Wheelchair Basketball SA the rights to host it, but he also says the African zone is developing and growing stronger every year, and hopefully these qualifiers now will be the same as the 2015 qualifiers for the Rio Olympics.
It's not quite the same, because what it is it's every 4 years, in fact. You have the World Cup qualifiers, which we're going into now, and then after that you have the Paralympic qualifiers. So it's two different stages altogether. Both of them are international. If we qualify now for the World Cup, we go to Germany. I think it is. It's Germany next year.
Hamburg.
But yes, it's just to promote the sport all round. But we've only got one spot in Africa. You know, where Europe and them have got 5, 6 spots. Oceanic has got 5 spots. The Americas have got spots. There's 12 teams that qualify for the World Cup. And Africa's only got 1. So we need to do well and really put Africa on the map so we can open up another spot for Africa. So that's what we're aiming for right now.
I mean, for you, Shane, this must be exciting for you. I mean, you're already preparing. How are the preparations going for you?
No, it's going good so far because we're putting in more effort, more training, working hard towards it. So we're feeling confident at the moment because we've played them before. We know how they play, and we're working towards that, beating them on their mistakes, what they will do maybe, or in capitalize on what we think you're going to do.
Now, you are drawn in Pool A. I mean, there's Morocco there, there's Angola, there's Zimbabwe. I mean, one of the exciting things is, I mean, defending champions. They're in Group B. You'll only get to meet them in the knockout stages. But tough contenders you have there in Pool A.
Yes, we do. We actually picked Morocco first because to boost our confidence as well. Because, like I said, we played them before and we've almost beat them. It's just separate us with few points. So we're feeling confident by going into that game first game. So I think we can beat them if we just keep our focus there.
I mean, how have you seen as a player the growth of the sports in the country, and the inclusions of Sasol coming in as a sponsor as well must be helping? Yes,
they help us a lot. I think we're developing faster than usual. So with the help of Sasol, it's a big help from them. I have to say thank you to them, because without them, this wouldn't have been possible for us to develop this fast and this good. So, gotta say thank you to them, and hopefully we'll make them proud.
Coach, for you, I mean, we're talking off screen, just talking about growing the game here in South Africa. What has been the pitfalls that you guys usually find yourself in when you're trying to grow the sport?
You know, a lot of our players actually come from the townships. So we've actually got to get into the schools, identify them in the schools. We've also got to go to the clinics where there's been accidents and people which have been injured. So we go to the clinics and the schools and we try and promote them and introduce them to the game. And then from there, introduce them into the sport by putting them into the clubs, let clubs adopt them in the certain areas. Let them play in those clubs, and eventually they will get into the super sport clubs, and then from there, that's our feeder section into the national teams.
I mean, for any sport to grow, though, it needs coverage. And have you guys been receiving some of that?
Yes, we have. We're very fortunate that we've got Sassel on board, which they've got their own PR. And not only that, we have the Supersport League, where we've got 6 franchises. So there's 6 teams there that are always fighting for top spot. And yes, we've got quite a bit with the Supersport, and we've got to thank them as well. Otherwise, this sport, I think, would be dead in the water without the coverage.
Coach, I have to ask you as well, how are the preparations going for the qualifiers? I know the bigger picture now is the World Championships in Germany.
What it is, the guys are going into camp on the 11th of November, and they'll be in camp, which is a holding camp, where we start polishing all our form, our skills, look at all our weak points, and get them right, and just prepare ourselves for Morocco. But I've got both the ladies and the men's team in camp from the 11th to the 16th, and then from there we're down to Durban, and that's where the fight begins.
Are we confident, Coach, that we will be in Germany? That spot is ours?
I'm very confident in both teams, but you know, again, it depends on what team pitches up to the game on the day. You know,
I mean, just to touch in a bit, I mean, I wouldn't be doing justice if I didn't talk about the women's side of the sport as well. They playing against 3 other teams in one pool, but the growth of the sport for them, is it growing for them?
Yeah, with the ladies, it's actually been a little bit quiet over the years, but this year we introduced the National Women's League. Okay, because obviously hosting, we have to also represent the country with the ladies' side. So we introduced the National Women's League. Now we want to continue with this going forward and not just lose them in the cracks. You know, so it's not after this competition now the ladies are forgotten for the next 4 years. Let's keep motivating and bringing them forward. And then also we've got the under-19s and we've got under-23s. So, and also our schools. So those are our feeder sections into every single one of the better teams, or let's say the more senior teams. So yes, we're looking at the ladies and we need to promote them all the time. And with Sassel now, they're very big in lady sports, so hopefully that's going to be a good feather in our cap for us.
Finally, Shane, just a quick one from you. What makes a great wheelchair basketball player?
I think believing in yourself is the most important thing. And secondly, you have to keep the fight there. Never give up. Always push your chair. Always help your teammates. They help you play a good game. And listen to the coach. That's what makes a good basketball player.
Coach Shane, thank you very much for taking the time to be with us on the show today. I wish you all the best. I know that sports belongs to us, so hopefully we'll even be traveling with you guys to Germany.
Yes. Wow, what a pleasure. But thank you very much for having us on your show. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Now, the opening games takes place on the 18th of November at the Indoor Sports Center in the city of Eguategi, eGagasini. South Africa will lock horns with in the first game of the tournament, while the female counterparts battle it out also in their opening game. So the male side, they're also playing Morocco. But out for now, it is the Sports Don who will be coming after the break. He's taking the challenge with Wetsi Morage, SA Pool champion. You don't want to miss it.